Alright, and he says shirtless dog would be rated a 5 out of 5. We're doing it on a 10 scale though today. It's a 10 scale. Okay. So let's start. Add a random minion with 5 or more attack to your hands. This card's really interesting because it's really good at fetching things. So for instance, if I were to run in, let's say they print another Emperor Thorson, right? And I only run one card with 5 or more attack. That's Emperor Thorson. I basically have 2 ways to get Emperor Thorson in my deck, which is pretty cool. So this card's like good for combo activators, but there's no cards like that right now, so it doesn't really help at all. 5 scale. All right, we'll do a 5 scale. This is gonna be a lot of typing. Yeah, it will be. All right, we're not gonna have the notepad. You guys can follow along. We'll just talk about the cards. How about that? We'll do it on a 1 to 5 scale. That way you like it. If you only run Emperor in your deck or something, you can pull a combo piece, right? Let's say you run like a Malagos thing, right? Oh, it's a random. It doesn't pull it from your deck. Oh, I don't even read these cards. This is a typical dog review. All right. We're learning. This card sucks. Next card. All right. I guess I have to rate it with the number. I guess it's appropriately like. It already has the number associated with it. It's a 2. It's a 2 out of 5. Next card. Elder Longneck. If you're holding a minion with 5 or more attack, adapt. It just helps complete the quest. If you want to go ham on the quest, you run this and Magma Ragers and stuff. Or not Magma Ragers, I guess Ice Rager. I guess Ice Ragers doesn't exist anymore. Because it's like, I thought it was TGT or something. So it might be out of standard. It's pretty good for completing the quest quickly. The adapt, I mean, do you want a 5-1 stealth? It's like a shadow, whatever. Wind Fury's terrible. The health is actually pretty good. 5-4 for 3 mana. The attack is worthless. This card is very appropriately numbered also. It's a 3 out of 5. Yeah, it probably won't see play. I mean, I'm going to mess around with it and see if you can just like jam a bunch of early game minions with the quest, but I don't think the Druid quest is good enough to run, at least competitively. That's my opinion. Alright, Verdant Longneck, Battlecry Adept. This card sucks. It's awful. It is beyond awful. I mean, stealth is worse Stranglethorn Tiger. Health is the only good thing you can possibly get. Attack's bad. You get an 8-4 for 5 mana. That's pretty bad. Taunt is a worse, like, it's the Evil Heckler. It's probably a 2 out of 5. 2.5 out of 5. Pretty bad. I rated it garbage, yes. This is garbage on the scale. I'm going to try to get through these cards quickly because there's not much to talk about. Dog, are you doing a 24-hour stream for the launch? Yeah, I should be. Not 24 hours, but like 12 or 15 or whatever. +1/+1 is a choice. So it would be, what, a 6/5 for 5 mana? That's okay. I mean, I would probably rather run Pit Fighter. Okay. I mean, it's a 2.5 out of 5. This card's garbage. Earthen Scales. And these are just my opinions also. I don't want you to like go back and link this video or link this section when the card's like overpowered as hell and be like, well look dog, you said this card was garbage. And then start calling me garbage. That would make me feel bad. Anyways, Earthen Scales, give a friendly minion +1/+1, then gain armor equal to its attack. So the real question is, would we run this in our current Jade Druid iterations, which I do not have because I deleted all my decks. But would we run it in current Jade Druid? Instead of Feral Rage, because that's rotating, Feral Rage is more versatile in that it can attack minions, and you can clear board with it, which you actually use a lot against aggro. It's like okay. The attack is really, really good. It's obviously ran in like ramp decks or maybe a Jade deck. It's pretty good though. I see it as a 1 of in Jade Druid, maybe a 2 of. You'd rather run Ooze, right, than this card, the new Ooze against Pirate Warrior. But against everything else, you probably just like play this for armor. Oh, Feral doesn't rotate? Oh, wow. Someone told me that and I believe them. I guess I should fact check. Feral's doesn't rotate. Alright, we'll clip that post-editing. It's pretty good though. 3.5 out of 5. I think it's a 1 of, maybe a 2 of. It's seen in decks with a lot of card draw as well to support the big cards like ramp or like Jade. I'm sorry, it'd be a 2 of in Jade probably. We'll go with 4. Actually, we'll go with 4 out of 5. It's a really good card. I'm not really sure if it fits in the current iterations of just big decks, but it's pretty good in Jade actually. Could work with Gadget. Yeah, I mean that's definitely a consideration. It's very cheap, right? It's a cheap spell. It works with Gadget. Raven Idol rotated, so like you kind of want a cheap spell to cycle with, especially in Jade Druid. That's what I'm saying. I think it's a Jade Druid card. I'm not really sold on it being anything else. It's definitely not an aggro card based on its like stat buffs. I'm reading chat along with this, so you know I'll hear your complaints as we go, and maybe it'll change my mind. But these are my impressions. I haven't even read all the cards to be honest, but we'll get through it. All right, Evolving Spores. So the current like list for Egg Druid, Stephen Woods, welcome back 12 months. He says you're a 6 out of 9 in my heart. Sure I am. So I'm not a 6 out of 9 in your bed. Current iterations of Egg Druid, which Egg Druid's like okay, it's like semi-competitive. You want to do something on turn 4, and a lot of them have started running like Arguses and things like that to activate their eggs, but Evolving Spores kind of fills that role, I guess, because you can just get like taunt on whatever you need, or you can get like, I don't know, attack right on your eggs. So it's pretty good. The thing is, Souls of the Forest is probably just better for Egg Druid, and Savage Aura is probably just better than Egg Druid, or in Egg Druid. So where does this fit in? It's probably just worse than both of those. It's like a 3 out of 5. It's like an okay card, and it probably sees play in Egg Druid as like a 1 of. But Egg Druid's not a very good deck. 3 out of 5. Classic 3 out of 5. Yeah. Alright, so Shell Shifter. Choose one, transform into a 5/3 with Stealth, or a 3/5 with Taunt. I mean, it's Ascension Shield Master that's a little more versatile. It doesn't have a beast tag associated with it, so you can't buff it. The Stealth is okay because it's a really cheap 5-cost guy for the quest, which, I mean, I don't think the quest is going to see play, so I think it's pretty bad. I think this card is a 2.5 out of 5. It probably won't see play because it's pretty bad. One thing to note is it does work with Menagerie Warden, and since Emperor is gone, you can play this plus Menagerie Warden on 4, which is pretty good, actually. I mean, it's a lot of damage. Oh, it becomes a beast. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Well, I guess it becomes a beast. Oh, it does become a beast. Oh, how's it become a dinosaur? It's a... What? It can... What? How does that turn into that? I don't know. I mean, sometimes you can play it as that. But yeah, it's pretty bad. 2.5 out of 5. They should call it Shell Shitter. Alright, let's keep going. That was a bad joke. Oh, that's the Fandrel version. I forgot. Just Fandrel doesn't rotate right now. It doesn't. Dog, good review. I give it a 3 out of 5. Yeah. Alright, so Living Mana. Transform your mana crystals into 2/2 minions. Recover the mana when they die. So when I first saw this card, I thought it was insane. I thought it was like the best card ever, and a lot of Druid decks will run it. But when I think about it, they just don't trade into your minions, right? Unless you're playing a very aggressive Druid deck, they just don't trade into your minions, and then you don't get the mana back. And if you trade in, you don't get full mana crystals, because whenever you trade in, you get like empty mana crystals. So it really doesn't do that much. It's really hard for me to evaluate this card, though, because I really don't know if it's good enough. Yeah, a big deal, someone pointed out, it doesn't work with Innervate. That's true. It does in the fact that you can play it, but it just takes your full mana crystals. I don't know. Token Druid kind of fell off this expansion, and I have a feeling that Token Druid is still not going to be that popular this expansion. Even though if Token Druid is really good against... it's really good against Jade Druid, the problem is Shaman's kind of taken over, and I'm not sure if Shaman will still be popular enough. I mean, they lose Tunnel Chog and Totem Golem. Yeah, that's a good card, though. We'll go with like 3.5 out of 5. The only deck I see running this is Token Druid. That's the only deck I can see. Maybe an Egg Druid, right? Try to roar him down. But it's pretty good. 3.5 out of 5. Giant Anaconda. How is that a 3.5? It's pretty good. It's a good card. You guys will see. You'll be like, wow, that card is much better than I thought, dog. Wow, you're crazy. How'd you know? It's like you tested that card with them. Alright, Giant Anaconda, Death Rattle, summon a minion from your hand with a 5 or more attack. So, let's look at the collection. So, let's say you're trying to complete the quest, because that's the only way you play this card, right? So these are all the minions with +5 attack. Some of them are rotating, right? But if you pull one with Taunt, it actually becomes pretty good. Also, people are less inclined to trade into this, so you can trade in and then you still get a minion back. Only feasible with the new quests, obviously. There's not too much that you would run with it, though. Like, what are you hoping to get? You'd want a taunt with attack 5 or more? Oh, these are only 5s, right? I didn't do that search command more. Right. Oh, there we go. So you'd want something with taunt? I don't know. You can get like a Bog Creeper. It's just like, I mean, Bog Creeper's rotating, right? I know it's not. I mean, it's just like not worth it. It's pretty bad. We'll go with like a 3 out of 5. Just because the Death Rattle synergy is pretty good, and it's a beast, so you can Menagerie Warden it, because people are scared to trade into it, right? Because they're like, oh, if I trade into it, they'll get a taunt, and then I have to deal with that stupid taunt. But then you play it, and then you Menagerie Warden it, and then you trade it in, and you get like a ton of minions. So it's like not that bad. That's the ideal scenario I'm seeing in my head right now. 3 is really high for this trash. I mean, think about it. Someone plays this on turn 7, you're like, I'm not killing that thing. And then they Menagerie Warden it, and you're like, I wish I killed that thing. And then they pull a taunt, and then you're like, I really wish I killed that thing. So, that's my interpretation of it. Jungle Giants, obviously the quest to the reward is, so the quest is summon 5 minions with 5 or more attack. Summon Barnabas. He doesn't really look like a bus. I guess people are riding him, so he's like a bus. Named Barna. I don't know. Reduce the cost of minions in your deck to 0. So, it's not a very good reward because it doesn't reduce the cards in your hand to 0. Or make all of the cards that you play 0, because then that would be busted and you can just kill everyone with, like, Juggler, Panda, OTK. I don't really see how you can build a deck around this. You want to balance it with spells, but, like, spells for card draw so you can dump a bunch of stuff, but, like, nothing really works with an OTK. Like, you can't do anything consistently that's busted. So, I don't know. The quest itself is not very good. I'm going to be messing around with it, obviously, and then try to figure out where it stands. But it's a 3 out of 5. It's one of the worst quests, but, I mean, quests are already pretty good. They're not good. They're bad. Quests are probably going to be really bad, but I'll still give it a 3 out of 5. Like, it's not the worst quest, right? It's not the Shaman quest. I don't know why. I always get so uncomfortable during card reviews. Everyone's just like typing in LUL and stuff and like going crazy. Fight Promoter? Yeah, Fight Promoter is actually a really interesting card that works well with this. Because you're going to have big minions and you're going to draw 2 cards with it, right? Like that's insane. So maybe you go more of like the card draw route with Fight Promoters, and you could even run like Cold Light Oracles because you don't really care if they get cards because they're just going to develop big taunts. Or you could run like Lunar Visions and just play like not that many spells. You only run other things, but Lunar Vision doesn't really matter at a certain point, right? Because your minions are free. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Celestial Dreamer.
Thanks for making my day again. Have a great night.
$10 from Cantaloupe. Yeah, no problem, man. You're a good streamer. Just keep it up. So yeah, I mean, this is pretty cool. Could work, right? If you get a stealth minion with it and just like complete your quest really quickly, could definitely work, but I don't know. I just think the quest is mediocre. So as I said, 3 out of 5. I thought it was busted when it first came out, but it wasn't. Tyrantus, I mean, he's garbage. The thing about Hearthstone is if you go to the +7 and see all the cards you don't play, you're like, wow, I never knew that Hogger Doom of Elwyn you know, existed. I've never seen a Chromagus on the board before. What's Gruul? I've never even heard of that card. What's this Nosdormu card? That's what Tarantus is. He's a card that no one will know about because he sucks. That's it. So 2 out of 5. 1.5 out of 5. 2 out of 5. It's not 3 out of 5. Stop. Back to the review. Hopefully you don't pull this guy from packs, otherwise you're going to be sad. You know what I like to call this guy? He's 400 dust. Alright. Jeweled Macaw. We're on to Hunters now. Hunter's got a lot of 1-drops, so the Hunter quest is actually... Hold on, we have some spoilers up here. Don't look, don't look. Alright, here's the quest. Play 7 1-drop, or 1-cost minions, and then you get the Queen Carnassa. Queen Carnassa, shuffle 15 Raptors in your deck, and it draws you a card every time that you do that. So I think the best way to go about this is just play a ton of 1-drops and try to smork your opponent down, and then suddenly you get this big bad 5-mana 8/8 with a bunch of 1-drops, right? I'm going to go ahead and rate this because I kind of jumped ahead. I think this is probably one of the more promising quests, but I think the power level of this is still below Pirate Warrior.
What do you think about running the Druid quest in a Cthulhu deck?
The Druid quest in the Cthulhu deck. So you still need to run other weird cards with that because the only activators you're getting are what is it called? Are Arakoas, right? So Arakoas and Cthulhu are the only thing that really help you because everything else is 4 attack. Unless you're running Doom Callers, which is okay. I was considering going like Cthulhu, and then you naturalize your Cthulhu, and then you play like a free Doom Caller, and then you fight Promoter, draw a Cthulhu after you revive it, but that's like really ambitious. I don't think it'll be top tier. I think it can work, but it's never going to be like competitive. Anyways, yeah, so I think this is still below the power level of Pirate Warrior, but I think it's as aggressive as Pirate Warrior. Like, it's a little worse than Pirate Warrior in my opinion. But it's still one of the better quests, which kind of shows like how bad the quests are, kind of. Quests are pretty bad just because they take up a card, and imagine starting the game with 1 less card and 1 less mulligan. That's pretty bad. Still, it's one of the better quests. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. It's good. It's the power level of Hunter will be slightly below Pirate Warrior in my opinion. Alright, so don't look. Spoilers. Alright, here we go. So, Jeweled Macaw, back to this. It actually does help the Hunter. Hunter's going to have a ton of 1-drops just to like go ham with. They have Alley Cat, Brave Archer rotates, Fiery Bat does not rotate. So you can just basically build a deck with 29 1-drops. And then there's this other card called Firefly, which we haven't gotten to yet, but it adds another 1-drop into your hand. So realistically, you can almost always get your quest completed by turn 5, and then you just play that, and then you just draw a bunch of Raptors and kill them, which is pretty good. Yeah, I think the way to build this deck, in my mind at least, is going to be Tolvar Wonder. That card isn't worth running in this deck, in my opinion. Is going to be running like 2 trackings and just 27 1-drops, and then the quest. And then you can complete the quest as quickly as possible, and then try to kill him. The other option is playing Stampede, and then you get some more value from it. Also, another option for that deck is Cult Master. But I'm kind of going off track on the cards, so I'm going to go back to the cards. It'll see play in only quest. It'll see play in more than Quest Hunter. It's reasonable. This card is one of the better cards that Hunter is getting. 4 out of 5. This card is also a good card. It will probably see play in mid-range Hunter. It's just good. 4 out of 5. Grievous Bite.
Hey
Are
dog,
there even 27 1-drops?
there's no need to be nervous when doing card reviews.
Oh, thank you.
You're doing a great job. Maybe your nerves are because of the heat.
It's pretty hot in here.
You could take your shirt off and then you would feel much cooler.
I think I'm good on that. Yeah, I mean, this 2-drop is really good. It's like a 4 out of 5. It might be slightly better than a 4 out of 5, but I'm hesitant to say that because most of the time you don't have anything on board and it's a 3-2 because most things you play, like you don't have that many 1-drops that are great. Still good though. Yeah, good card. This probably won't see play because it's a reactive card. I mean, Power Shot didn't really see play. Unless there's going to be a ton of token generation, this is just not that great. 3 out of 5. Won't see play though. There's cards that I rate the cards based on the power level of the card, and then I say if it'll see play or not, and in what decks. That's how I'm doing the review. Raptor Hatchling. Shuffle a 4/3 Raptor in your deck whenever it dies. This is the 4/3 Raptor. It only costs 1. It's a decent 1-drop. It adds cards to your deck, so it helps fight fatigue, but that's irrelevant in Hunter because when are you ever going to fatigue? It's okay. It's the Death Rattle effect is negligible. It's just the fact that they added another 1-drop to the game to where you can run 29 1-drops in Hunter. Because of that, it'll see play. It's like a 3.5 out of 5. It won't see play in any other decks aside from that, in my opinion, because the odds you draw this are very low. And even later in the game, you probably don't want to be drawing a 1-drop Raptor. Even if it is a 4/3, you want like better statted things. So 3.5 out of 5. Terror Scale Stalker. Trigger a friendly minion's Death Rattle. This was the one that Reddit was pissed about. I don't know why. We don't have any good Death Rattles. Rookdorf, welcome back. 13 months. He says, thanks for the 13 months of fun, but I don't think it'll see play. We'll call it a 3 out of 5. Jesus. Specialist, welcome back 2 months. He says, smiley face. Rat Pack is a very good card with this, right? Will Rat Pack see play? Probably not because of the quests. I think everyone's going to be running the quests. Midrange Hunter, I don't think really has the tools to come back. I guess, actually, Midrange Hunter might come back because of Crackling Razor Maw and Jeweled Macaw. Those cards are very good in it. Anyways, back to this. Terror Scale Stalker probably just won't see play. I mean, it works on high main, but if you get a high main to stick, you probably win the game anyways. It works with Infested Wolf, and it works with Rat Pack, but I mean, those are the only cards that it really works with, in my opinion. It's okay. At most, a 1 of. The card itself is really strong. There just aren't Death Rattles right now. For instance, if Nerubian Egg was still in the meta, back in whenever Naxxramas was released, it was a 0/2 that summoned a 4/4 when it died. I mean, this card's insane with that, right? Like, it's nuts. Kindly Grandmother is another card, yeah. So Kindly Grandmother is really good with it as well, yeah. And it works with Shaky Zip Gunner, but Shaky Zip Gunner is actually really bad. Because hand buffs, we've learned, have been too slow and not very consistent. I have a problem seeing how it sees play. It doesn't really fit in any archetypes that I can really think of, and it doesn't really beat any decks. Like Midrange Hunter doesn't really have a place right now. You either go really aggressive or not at all because you get out tempoed by even Jade Druid or something. But I guess this might be quick enough to beat Jade Druid with the Terror Scale and the earlier 1-drops. Yeah, we'll go with 4 out of 5. Maybe it sees play. I don't know. I actually don't know. I'm really bad at evaluating Hunter cards because I see the value in things and they see the face, the smork in things. It's way too awkward to play. I mean, I just don't think Midrange Hunter will be popular, but I think this card is very good. It's like before. Rat Pack is an insane card, right? Like, the value on it is, like, ridiculous. Especially if you buff it just a little bit. So good. If you abusive it, if you direwolf it. So, like, I rated Rat Pack really highly, right? I rated it a 4 out of 5. I still stand by that. I still think it's an amazing card. It's just not seeing play because Hunter sucks dick because Midrange Hunter doesn't have a place right now. Same as this. I don't think Midrange Hunter will really have that much of a place. So, 4 out of 5 in my opinion. Good card. Probably won't see play. I think Smork Hunter will be the way. It's the light. Tolver Warden, Battle Cry. Draw 2 1-cost minions from your deck. I think you just go full on in on the quest and just play a ton of 1-drops. I don't think you go in with this mid-range stuff. This is too slow. It's just not good enough, in my opinion. I guess you could go for the mid-range version with the quest, but at that point you're getting the quest out on like turn 7. And I guess you could play like, you know, normal minions like...
Dog, you're like 3 days late to reviewing these cards. Let's play HS.
No, I got legend. Look guys, I got legend. I'm 13. It's my lucky number. It's not my lucky number, but it took me forever to get legend. Anyways, back to the review. I want to do it that way you guys can make fun of me and be like, dog, you're so wrong, or dog, you're so right. I was actually very right about the prior quest. Anyways, I think this card is not too great. I think people will try to experiment with it, but it'll fail. And it only works with minions, so it's not like you can pull, you know, play spells and pull like a hunter's mark or something, right? There's no real good minions that you can pull from your deck with this, unless you're going with some crazy combo with like Timberwolf, right? But that's not really feasible. Not right now. So 3 out of 5, mediocre. Like, it's an okay card, but I don't think it'll see play. Isn't Tolvar good in normal mid-range? It helps. I mean, do you really want to be playing a 5-mana 3/5 on turn 5? You're a tempo deck. I mean, you get to draw the 1-cost minions, but what are you really trying to draw? Like, Abusive Sergeant, I guess, is good, right? Elven Archer could be okay? I don't know. Anyways, Stampede. Whenever you play a beast this turn, add a random beast to your hands. Card's actually not that bad. Much better than Lock and Load. I remember Reynad did this card review. Lock and Load is going to break the meta. Just you wait. This card is busted. Yeah, that card's awful. But this card is actually pretty
Grats
good.
dog on the stream. But this has all been reviewed. Let's play, buddy.
I'm not playing today, actually. I'm gonna wait until Ungoro's out to play. I'm done with the meta. I played like 30 hours in 2 days just to get Legend early. I don't think it'll see play, but it's much better. It's a 4 out of 5 that won't see play. Just like the Rat Pack, just like everything else. If it were to see play, you could go for some value deck with Tolvar or Warden, and you can play Stampede with it and like get a ton of value. But the thing is, getting cards isn't always good if the cards are shitty, right? You don't want random beasts in your hand. There's a bunch of terrible beasts in the deck or in the game. Like, I don't know. What if you just get like a Core Rager? You're not playing 4-mana 4/4s isn't gonna win you the game, right? Like, random beasts just suck. You can get like angry chickens and things. I don't know. 4 out of 5 though. You can go Stampede plus all the Raptors. Yeah, exactly. Like, that's pretty good. When I first built the first iteration of the quest, because I built all the decks that I thought I would make, or some of them. When I built the first iteration of the Hunter, it included double Stampede and double tracking, and then you can just get a ton of beasts and play for value after you get the quest with the early aggression with the 1-drops. But I'm still not sold on it. I'm still giving it a 4 out of 5 that won't see play. Dinomancy. Your hero power becomes give a beast 2/2. Yeah, this won't see play, because you're literally doing nothing when you play this card to change your hero power, and then you have to play your hero power to even get the value from it. And Hunter is a very tempo-oriented class, so this won't see play. It's not even a good card. It's a good card, it's just not... It's a 3 out of 5. It won't see play. Won't see play, won't see play. I mean, realistically, how many cards see play from an expansion? Not that many. Here we go. Swamp King Dread. After your opponent plays a minion, attack it. Actually, not that bad of a card. I'm not sure how this works with summoning minions. Like, if I summon a Jade, will it attack the Jade? Probably not. But I think this card is good. I think the poisonous, like, everyone's like, oh, but you can just play a poison minion into it, and you're gonna get, like, you know, resurrect, or, you know, crushed. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Who's gonna be playing, like, a Pit Snake or a Patient Assassin in their deck, or Emperor Cobra, right? When are you gonna adapt into it? If Midrange Hunter is popular, which I don't think it will be, but if it is popular, it will run Swamp King Dread. If it is popular, it will run maybe one of Tolvar Warden. It will run it'll definitely run this card. This card's insane with it, and it will probably run the Macaw. But I think it will run the Swamp King. I think it's good. I think it's reasonable. Battlecry adapts. How many Battlecry adapts are there? There's really not that many. Most of them suck. It literally says play. Yeah, I know. I was just elaborating on it. Yeah, I think it's good. 4 out of 5. Won't see play because Midrange Hunter will be popular, or won't be popular, but we'll see play in Midrange Hunter if it is a class that's seen, but I doubt it will be. But yeah. Arcanologist. Oh, why can't I pronounce that? Dog, it's going to be hard to run so many one-drops because Hunter has so little card draw. Yeah, but see, there's this card that says draw a card. And then you play like infinite of these, right? And the thing is, if you're on double tracking, you actually thin your deck, which is pretty cool also. Anyways, Arcanologist. This card is a shitty Mad Scientist, but Mad Scientist was busted as hell. This card is good. This card is very good. 4 out of 5. 4.5 out of 5. It will see play. It's just like a better Novice Engineer. It's going to see play in almost every Mage deck because every Mage deck runs Secrets. So 4.5 out of 5. It's just like, in Mage, I almost always run Novice Engineers, right? This is a better Novice Engineer, and it's a guaranteed Ice Block. If you only run it like, Ice Blocks as Secrets. It's really, really good. And it fights for board. Flame Geyser. Deal 2 damage, add a 1/2 elemental to your hands. I don't really see the point of adding a 1/2 elemental to your hands, aside from trying to activate your elemental stuff, which I guess makes sense, right? Maybe some type of elemental, token, like elemental mage tempo deck will exist because you can, like, flame, or what is it called? Portal? This is still in the meta, right? Yeah. So Firelands Portal is still there. You get this insane tempo swing with Firelands Portal. You get an insane tempo swing with the new elemental that does 6. It's a 6/6 and does 5 damage. I don't know what it's called. But you can build a deck like that and just constantly fight for board with those spells. But this card on its own is really bad. 3 out of 5. Won't see play. This is so cute though. Shimmering Tempest. He looks like a Enigma from Dota 2. Very jacked. Add a random mage spell to your hands. Helps with the mage quest. It's okay. I would prefer just to run cycle. I don't really like this card that much. It might see play in the tempo list for the mage deck, but I don't really see it as a good card. Babbling Book is just strictly better. But Babbling Book might see a lot of play because of that quest. I'll give it a 3 out of 5, but it might see some play. Mana Bind. When your opponent casts a spell, add that copy to your hand that costs 0. This card is really hard for me to evaluate. Because most people can proc it with a coin. But if they proc it with a coin, first of all, they're helping you complete your quest. But secondly, you get the coin, so this thing only really costs, like, 2 mana. I guess you get a coin, you're down a card. That's pretty bad, huh? I guess you just don't play it until they use their coin, right? On average, I'd say you get about 3 or 4 mana worth of spells, but most people are going to be playing around this. I think it's a bad card, but I think it's the only secret that makes sense with the tempo list that you want to run with the new quest for Mage. So I still think it might see play. I'll rate this card as a 3 out of 5, but it might see some play. I'm being very lenient with them, might see some play. Molten Reflection, choose a friendly minion, summon a copy of it. So this is like Echo of Medivh, but it plays it immediately on board. This is a combo piece for the new one-turn Kill Mage. You basically go Sorcerer's Apprentice, Molten Reflection, play the quest, and then you next turn Archmage, and you can kill them in 1 turn, infinite damage. Which is pretty good. It's a bad card in general, though. You can copy like Giants and things like that, but I don't know. Who really cares? 3 out of 5. It might see play in some gimmicky decks, but it's okay. Right? Like, it sees play in weird decks, but meh. Not gonna really be that good. I'm ignoring Arena, by the way, because Arena is lame. I just don't play Arena, so I have no idea. Steam Surger. If you played a Elemental last turn, add a Flame Geyser to your hands. So you have Water Elemental, and you have Arcane Anomalies and Elemental. Yeah, that won't see play. Rags rotating. I mean, it's really hard to play an elemental before. It's not like a blast mage. The value you get from it's okay. I don't know. It's a good card, but like, how do you play the elementals for it? You have to already be running flame geysers to play the elemental before. Like, that's the problem with the elementals before. The problem with elemental is if they see you played an elemental before and you're going into, like, you know, a turn where you're supposed to, you know, get like this effect if you played an elemental last turn, they're just gonna play around things, and then that's gonna suck a lot. Anyways. 3 out of 5. Not that good. So, Primordial Glyph. They're new elementals. I understand they're new elementals, but the new elementals aren't very good. Look. Glacial Shard is okay. You're not going to be running Firefly in the deck. Tar Creeper is the only one that I could see being relevant. Blaze Caller is good, right? Blaze Caller is really good. But that's like, I mean, what spells, what do you have with this? Shimmering, okay, Shimmering Tempest might do something, I guess. Rick Dodo, welcome back. 7 a month. He says 7 years? How more until I get invited to the shirtless Snapchat? Are you already a sub, man? I don't like this card. 3 out of 5. This card is really, really, really good. Super good. This card is a 4.5 out of 5. It will see play in a lot of decks. Because you can store mana, and if you get like a 5 mana Flame Strike, that's just nutty. Petit Parakeet, thank you so much for subbing. And I don't know, a lot of times you look for answers for things, and this will almost always give you an answer. I mean, the only problem is you get shitty secrets, but even shitty secrets are okay because they have to play around everything. This card is really good. 4.5 out of 5. Maybe even a 5 out of 5. This card is, like, phenomenal. 4.5 out of 5, 5 out of 5. Something like that. Meteor. Deal 15 damage to a minion and 3 damage to adjacent ones. So it only does damage to 3 minions in total, right? It's not like Flame Strike where it deals damage to their entire board. Yeah, it's like, it's removal, I guess. It's like, it's reasonable. People won't run this in their deck ever, but it's still okay. It's like it's a bad polymorph. It's like a 3.5 out of 5. Flame Lance, awesome play in Reno Mage. Reno Mage doesn't exist, obviously, because Reno rotates. 3.5 out of 5. It's slightly better, because you're going to be picking it a lot from Primordial Glyph, just because you get that option and it's okay. So it's not the worst, right? Like, clear shit. No one's going to run this in their deck, though. I'm just saying. Nobody actually puts this in their deck ever, because it's bad. Can you rate out of 10? I think people enjoy the meme of me rating out of 5, so they can say 3 out of 5. I guess it's a 3 out of 5. This one should be a 3 out of 5. This one, Open the Waygate. This card has the potential to be the most busted. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. 4.5 out of 5. I think it's insane. Maybe I'm a little too ambitious, but the way that Jade destroyed control decks, this card will also destroy control decks. So it's basically like a Jade card. It's good though. So it's like really close to 5. It may not be the best deck to play on ladder, but imagine you could just beat every control deck or every mid-range deck. It's like it enables Freeze Mage, right? It's hard to give ratings for quests to the same scale that I give ratings to non-quest cards, because you can't really relate them, because one is so powerful and the other cards are shitty that you have to add to make this quest so powerful, right? It's really hard to activate, but it basically enables a new archetype. We'll see. I mean, I could be wrong and this could be complete trash. It's definitely possible. And it's even likely that this is trash, but I have faith. I have faith. Realistically, with Rag out of the way, what's there to stop a Freeze Mage? There's no Loatheb. Pirate Warrior is the only thing that really wins, and in a tournament format, you can just ban Pirate Warrior. It doesn't lose to Dirty Rat. It does lose to Dirty Rat, but who's gonna run Dirty Rat in there? Like, I guess you can tech with Dirty Rat. I guess you can tech... If you're teching, why don't you just run Eater of Secrets instead, right? Anyways, we'll keep going. I mean, I'm not saying it's Freeze Mage. I'm just saying there's an OTK combo. There's a bunch of ways you can play it. It's really interesting. And besides, it's unreliable to Dirty Rat something, right? You can Dirty Rat something. You can Dirty Rat their Alex, and they'd be like, okay, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm just gonna play Double Giants, or I'm gonna play my Archmage OTK combo or something, right? And there's no brand, so you can't even brand Dirty Rat. So that's crazy. Dog, go full screen. Dog goes full screens. All right. I want to say it's the cost. The rating I give it is the cost, but I can't even say that because it's a 1. This card is garbage. This is like the worst card I've ever seen. This card is also garbage. This card is also garbage. So 1 mana adaptation. This helps with the quest. Adapt a friendly minion. It's worse than like Blessing of Wisdom, Blessing of Might, and all those things, but it does help with the quest. I don't see it. I don't think it's good. I think it's bad. 3 out of 5. Might see play in the Quest Paladin, but I don't think the Quest Paladin is good enough. The only consolation this has is that Divine Favor is still a card, and you can just go like really ham on the buffs, right? And you can just go like nuts on the buffs. Run like Blessing of Wisdoms, run Blessing of Mights, try to get out that Galvadon as quickly as possible, and then you can Divine Favor, refill your hand, keep dumping stuff. So it might see play in like an aggro deck, but 3 out of 5 probably. Pretty good. It's like an alley cat. It's a spell, which I'm not really sure if it has that much relevance, like it being a spell. It might see play in Aggro Paladin, but Aggro Paladin hasn't really ever been popular. It does work really well with the in Light Fuse Stegadon. Probably 3.5 to 4 out of 5. 3.5 is probably more accurate. I don't think Aggro Paladin will be popular, but if it is, this will probably see play. The problem is... See, the problem with these cards is they're very defined by what is currently popular. And what's currently popular right now? Patches, Nizos First Mate. Because there's only people who spam goddamn Pirate Warrior. Maelstrom Portal is really popular. That's still around, right? Yeah, Maelstrom Portal's still around, so like... This... Aggro Paladin's just not going to see play, but this card itself is good, and it's good in the deck. It's really bad. Like, that Aggro Paladin's really bad, so it won't see play. But anyways, 3.5 out of 5. I heard this card was really good. I can see that it is, like, it could be pretty good because you get to pick your secret, right? And then you play it for 1 mana, and yeah, we're all happy. You can get a Repentance when you need it. Things like that. It's a good card. It's okay. I just don't see where it fits. It's a Murloc. I guess that's actually a really big deal because I have a lot of Murloc synergies now. It could even see play in an aggro deck. This one is better than Lost in the Jungle, so we'll go with 4 out of 5. Pretty good. Light Fuse Stegadon. Adapt your Silverhand recruits. Meta is always going to be too fast to be making Silverhand recruits, and the only way to get an excess of them is Lost in the Jungle. So while this card is really good with, muster for battle or a way to quickly generate the Silverhand recruits, there's no method for doing that aside from this, which isn't very good right now. I mean, it's a good card, but it's really bad right now because there's no tools for Paladin. Maybe in the future. I don't know. 3.5 out of 5. Won't see play. Stand Against Darkness. Do you really think you're gonna play Stand Against Darkness into this? Let's be real. Like, what world are you living in where you can play that and then they stick around? It's just like that never happens. I don't think I've ever seen this card played. This card? What is this? No. Anyways, Spike Ridge Steed, give a minion a +2/+6, and taunt when it dies, summon a Stegodon. Stegodon is 2/6 beast. This card's insane. This card is so good. I think it'll see play in control / mid-range Paladin variants. It's a 4.5 out of 5. It's such a good card. Card's like really good. Amaz says this is a 5-star. It's pretty slow though. I mean, the only reason I'm hesitating to call this 5 stars is because there's like, what if you don't have a minion to play it on? That's like the big problem. It's really good though, like insane. It's like Sludge Belcher good, and that, I mean, I can see why people would call it a 5 out of 5. The only reason I can't see it as a 5 out of 5 is because you have to buff something, and buffing something is very challenging. So, anyways, Vine Cleaver. Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, there's your making Silverhand recruits, but it's a better Piranha Launcher, and Piranha Launcher, I think I rated it like a 2 or a 1, so I guess I'll rate this card like a 2.5. We'll go with that. Dog, does this card give them a Death Rattle effect, or it acts like a Death Rattle, but it's not, so it probably won't be resummoned with N'Zoth, is your question. Dog, I give you a 5 out of 5. Shit, dude, we have so many to go. Why did I say I'd do this? Primal Fin Champion, it's a Murloc, so there's actually a ton of Murloc synergy right now. Paladin has Balefin Inquisitor, Grimscale, Chum, Hydrologist rather, and a Primal Fin Champion. It loses any Fin. This guy comes into play, Rock Pool Hunter, so you can play it on your Grimscale or that. It's okay. Card's garbage. Interesting. Anyways, back to this card. Sorry, I got sidetracked with looking at how many good Murlocs there were. Cracker Jacks, welcome back. 16 months. He says, "Yo, Dogger Do you own a dog didgeridoo?" Oh my god. All right, I do not. Primal Fin Champion. Return any spells cast to your hand on this minion. If you're playing the quest, the Last Kaleidosaur, you probably run this minion. It's really strong with just buffing things. That's the whole point, right? Like that's literally the card text. Bullet Sea play. Probably. I'm trying to think. 4 out of 5, 3.5 out of 5. It's not as good as it looks because the minion stats are so shitty. And Bane of Souls, welcome back, 11 months. Says, what deck are you most excited for? Probably the Mage. Alright, we need to steam through these because getting antsy. Alright, so Dynasize, set a minion's attack to 10. This card is terrible. Oh, attack and health, but yeah, this card's terrible. I mean, you could say you get charged from it, but like, realistically, it's just so hard to find anything on board that you can buff. So, we'll give it a 2 out of 5. The Last Kaleidosaur, cast 6 spells on your own minions. 1, 2, 3, so, and Hand of Protection. So you have like 5 or 6, so you have like 10 or 12. That's really hard to do. I guess you can buff that one minion and you get it twice. 3.5 out of 5. It's very hard to do. And I guess if you're doing this quest, you do Aggro Paladin, but the problem with Aggro Paladin is you're losing a 1-drop, right? Because you want to complete the quest, and that's kind of a problem. The thing is, once you summon Galvadon, you pretty much have an OTK, so... yeah. Anyways, Galvadon, attack 5 times. Yeah, I mean, ideally you get Stealth, Wind Fury, and then the quad attack, and then you kill him in 1 turn, right? It's pretty good. Yeah, 3.5 out of 5. I mean, I'm obviously going to try all the quests. I don't think it'll be that good though. I think most of the quests will suck. This guy set all their minions' attack and health to 3. Paladin struggles fighting for board and having a bunch of minions. Most of the time you're behind, and then you clear the board with pyro quality and then develop. This card doesn't help it. Eadric didn't see play, this won't see play. 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, something like that. Binding Heal, restore 5 health to a minion and your hero. You can use this with Akanai, right? And then target their minion, and then you hurt yourself. It's pretty cool. You know? If you're into that stuff. It's just a better flash heal. You can't use it for combos, though. I don't think it'll see play. But it's a good card. 3.5 out of 5. 4 out of 5. It's really good value. Self-OTK Priest, exactly. Radiant Elemental, your spells cost 1 less. You're not playing spells with Priest. There's not enough. There's not good ones. It's a really good card. It's better than Sorcerer's Apprentice because of the stat line, but it's still just bad. I don't even know what to call this card. A 3 out of 5 because it's in Priest. Tortolin Shellraiser. Man, that art is awesome. It works with the Zoth, it works with the new quest, so it's good in those aspects. It's a reasonable sized taunt, and the death rattle on it's pretty good. 3.5 out of 5 sounds right for it. It might see some play, but realistically, it's just kind of a bad card. Crystalline Oracle, literally only for the quest. The problem is when you're playing these cards, the quest becomes kind of irrelevant. Because, like, at that point, your problem becomes doing enough to compete with board and having enough board clears, not living. Right? So you're going to beat the aggro decks with it if you ever complete your quest. But the aggro decks are probably going to beat you anyways because you don't have enough stuff that fights for early game board, right? That's my issue, right? So you're playing Quest Priest. You're like, I'm going to play Quest Priest with a bunch of taunts because I want to be Pirate Warrior. You play this turn 1. They play Nizosphorus Mate and Patches, and then they punch it with their little weapon, and then you're behind on board, and then you just get run over, and it doesn't matter if you complete your quest because you can never clear the board. That's basically how I see it. So, Quest Priest is going to suck because they don't have a way to clear the board, and they don't have strong enough minions. So, pretty bad. I gotta rate this card. 3 out of 5. It's okay just because of the quest. Dog, can you score them for Arena, please? It's unplayable for me in Arena because I don't play Arena. Mirage Collar. Choose a friendly minion, summon a 1/1 copy of it. Pretty good in the Zoth list. I was actually considering playing this with like the Runic Eggs, so you can just copy them. And then you could play the Tortellini guy, and then it buffs the eggs. But realistically, that's not very feasible. 3 out of 5. Oh, good. Dog rating cards. I needed a good laugh. Free from Amber. Discover a minion that costs 8 or more. You can't discover outside of your class, correct? I think that's the case. Yeah, I mean, you can discover this. It doesn't work on the battle cries, which is the biggest of deals, so it's probably pretty bad. 3 out of 5. The good thing is, if you're running Shadow Visions in your Kazakus deck, you can Shadow Visions free from Amber, and then you get a ton of value from it, right? And then if you're playing against an aggro deck, you can Shadow Visions an anti-aggro card, like I don't know, Binding Heal or something like that, or Holy Nova, and then you have 2 anti-aggro cards. So it's pretty good in that aspect that it's a spell and it can work, it can synergize with that. But yeah, 3 out of 5. Shadow Visions, really good in Kazakus Priest, but will Kazakus Priest really see play? Probably not, because Priest struggles with board clears and card draw, as I've said before. I think this card is good though. 3.5 to 4. 3.5 probably. 3.5. Yeah. Thing is, Emperor rotates out, so you can't go with OTK Priest anymore. The old combo was Emperor, and then you play Mind Blast with Velen for 20 damage. With this, you could Shadow Vision to Mind Blast and do 30 damage, or 40 damage if you run 2 of these. But meh. Curious Glimmerroot. Look at 3 cards, guess which one's starting in your opponent's deck to get a copy of it. It's like bad card draw. Why would you want to play these cards though? Like Mr. Steal Your Girl? I don't know, man. Mr. Steal Your Cards. 3.5 out of 5, but won't see play because it's bad. Awaken the Makers. One of the most middle tier quests. Probably a 4 or a 3.5 out of 5, something like that. It's so hard to play 7 Death Rattle minions in a class. First of all, Death Rattle minions are really hard to come by. Second of all, you're a class with no access to card draw, so like, what the hell are you gonna do? And third of all, the quest reward isn't that good. Like, who cares if your health's at 40 if you don't have board, right? And like, against aggro, are you ever gonna get to this point where you can play this, and then you get to play this, and then you're happy? Like, it's like Reno's in the bottom of your deck every time, and then you're unhappy. Liar of the Sunshard. Let's just call it 400 dust and move on. Oh, Ronda Rogue. Alright, I have a question about this card. Does it work while it's not in your hands? Does anyone know that? Will it get discounted if it's not in your hand and you play cards? That's something I'm curious about. Anyways, let's keep going while I get the answer to that. Hallucinations. Discover a card from your opponent's class. So Burgle is rotating, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, Burgle is rotating. Yes. Oh. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, wow, it's actually really good. That weapon's really good. So I actually think, like, Burgle... Well, not, it can't be called Burgle Rogue anymore, but, like, steel class cards could be really good. Because you get access to the hallucinations now, which is actually a really good card. Because you get to choose. Like, having a choice, I would much rather play hallucinations than I would Burgle. You still have double Swashbuckler. You have this Obsidian Shard, which is a reasonable card. Like, I don't know, playing that for so cheap is good. You also have this Vilespine Slayer, which is a really, really, really good tempo card. So I think this card is reasonable. It's good. The thing is, I want to rate it like a 3.5 out of 5, but you guys are going to make fun of me. So we'll give it a 4 out of 5 just for that. Razor Petal Asher. Add a Razor Petal to your hand that deals 1 damage. So it's like a really bad coin because it deals 1 damage. You don't really want to play anything on 2 anyways. You want a dagger. It's like a 3 out of 5. It won't see play. Razor Petal Volley. What are you cycling for now? If you're playing this and you're playing Auctioneer, you can't run Conceal because it's rotated. This card's... I mean, it's just like it's a spell generator, I guess. It's like you played this instead of Shiv, but why wouldn't you just play Shiv? It's a strictly worse Shiv in my opinion. 3 out of 5. 2 out of 5. 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. It's a collectible card. Envenom Weapon. Give your weapons poisonous. Give your weapon poisonous. So you actually do have a board clear now with Flurry, which is pretty cool. But will Flurry see play? Without access to healing, I don't think this sees play. That's my concern. So unless Rogue gets access to healing, this card will always be bad. It doesn't work with Flurry. What? Wait, it doesn't even work with Flurry? Oh, well this card's like a 0 out of 5. You're never going to be punching anything. What's the point? Wow, that card's awful. This is like one of the worst cards I've ever seen. This is literally like a 1 out of 5. This card's so bad. Alright, Mimic Pawn, draw a card and then add a copy of it to your hands. I don't think this card's that good. Like, what are you doing here? You're prepping this out to play it? I guess you cycle it on 3, like, it's like a Fan of Knives, right? So in a meta where you would rather draw cards and then get your stuff, it's like a Shiv or a Phantom Knives that doesn't do anything. I don't think it's very good, and I understand people want to play it with that one card, or with they want to play it with their quest, but I don't think that's a real reason to play it. I guess Phantom Knives is just cycle, right? I don't think it ever goes in the quest deck. I just don't see the point in this. Draw a card and then add a copy of it to your hand. So you draw 2 cards. So it's like an Arcane Intellect, yeah. Okay. 4 out of 5 then. It's okay. I don't even think it'll see play in the copy decks though. I think the way to go with that is Novice Engineers and then not even play Mimic Pawn, because you have to RNG it with Mimic Pawn. It seems okay though. Prep Mimic is kind of pointless. You're basically just cycling a prep at that point, but it's not really worth it. Obsidian card. Obsidian Shard. I actually think that Burgle Rogue, I guess Burgle rotates as I said, but I think Ethereal Conjurer Rogue, this doesn't rotate, right? Whispers, yeah. Ethereal Peddler deck with this is actually going to be really good. I think it's a very, very good tempo deck that people are overlooking. I'm going to give this card a 4.5 out of 5. Really, really good. Especially because it works like Thing from Below, and you can play it more aggressive, and you can play it with Vile Spine Slayer, right? Like, imagine how much tempo you get with playing this card, Ethereal Peddler, and then just like, you can even run patches in your deck because you're running Swashbucklers. That's insane. So yeah, that's what I think of that card. Really, really good. Biteweed, 4.5 for the worst card. The weapon's good, man. That's 9 damage for like free, pretty much. That's insane. That's so good. You guys are crazy. I'm calling it now. It's good. It's only good because you have this card though, so you'll already have board. Anyways, Baby Edwin. Yeah, it's bad. It's just the worst questing, but like, you're not going to have crazy turns because Conceal is kind of gone. 2 mana is really easy to get big minions with, I will admit that. So if you were to make a Miracle list, you would probably run this, but I think Teacher is probably better for board. It's kind of hard to evaluate. I don't know. I don't really think it'll see play. 3.5, but it's okay, right? It's much easier to get it off, but the stats aren't big enough to be relevant, right? Like on turn 6, you play Auctioneer, coin, prep something, and then you eviscerate something, and then let's say you drop the Biteweed. So you're left with, let's see, you played Auctioneer, coin, prep, and eviscerate. So you played 5, so you get like a 6/6 for 2 mana. Maybe it sees play in iterations of the deck, but for it to be worth it, you need to play 3 cards per turn. That's kind of hard to do. This could be the card I'm off the most with. I don't think it's that good, though. 3.5. And everyone has so many, like, different opinions. I see people like, oh my god, this is the best card ever. Oh my god, this card sucks. Like, this card's the best card ever. This is a 5 out of 5. This card is insane. It's the most nutty card ever. Yeah, 5 out of 5. It's as simple as that. Just a really good card. Dog, Auctioneer is leaving. Auctioneer is not leaving. This is probably one of the worst quests, but it's going to be one that you can play around with the most, just like the Mage quest. I'm not sure how to build it. I think I would just run like... Also, how does it work with Death Rattles? I'm assuming it just like summons a 5/5 also, right? So like maybe you play Jade Swarmer with it, or you summon other minions with it, but I don't know. I'd probably play with like Novice Engineer, Shadow Steps, and just like a bunch of bounce back effects. I was actually considering running it with Wisp, because that's the only 0 mana card, right? So you have to run Wisp, right? And you can get it out really, really early. Play from hands. But anyways, I would play it with like a Wisp maybe and just try to go ham. Run a ton of cycle with Novice Engineers and maybe cycle that way, or run Brewmaster. I'm not really sure it'll work. 4 minions isn't that hard. It really isn't. Shadowcasters might be too slow as well. Excuse me. I think this quest is kind of bad, though. I'll give it a 3 out of 5. I'm going to mess around with it, obviously. I'm going to mess around with the worst decks, because I play shitty decks all the time, but I think this quest is bad. Especially because you have to play a 5-mana card that says... Like, that's what's hard. Yeah, this is really bad. This is like a 2.5 or a 3. Gang up rotates? Yeah, it does. Shirazin Corpse Flower. Go dormant. Play 4 cards in a turn to revive this minion. This is untargetable, right? I have a question that is probably a dumb one. But you cannot Shadowcaster this, correct? I'm making sure. Anyways, this card is like a 1 or a 2. Pretty bad. It's like a 1 or a 2. Super bad. Bad. Untargetable. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Yeah, super bad. Air Elemental. Can't be targeted by spells or hero power. I mean, it has 1 health. It's an elemental, which is a good thing for it, but I don't see it seeing play. It's just too low value. I know Shaman wants 1-drops, but not like this. Not while Patches is still around. Patches is just going to destroy it. Literally, every single one of my games starts with N'Zoth's First Mate, because the meta is like 70% Pirate Warrior, and it's about like, you know, 60 or 70% that they have it or something. I don't know. Basically, they're in charge, and this is just going to get eaten. So anything with like a health like that isn't going to be good. We'll give it like a 2. Hot Spring Guardian. Taunt, Battlecry, restore 3 health. It's not specifically towards your minions. It doesn't have overload, so it's like a Jinyu. And it has Taunt, which is pretty relevant. The problem is the stat line isn't very good for what I expect the meta to be like. But it's an elemental, so if you're playing an elemental deck with Shaman, which I think is actually pretty feasible, it will probably see play. It's a good card. 4 out of 5. It's good. Everything is a 2 or 3. You guys were just telling me everything was a 3 or a 4. That's kind of the funny thing about the scale, you know. Things are either 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. That's crazy. You guys just want a number associated with everything. I can't just talk about the cards and have fun with it, you know. Alright. Tidal Surge. Deal 4 damage to a minion, restore 4 health to your hero. Garbage. 3 out of 5. Or 2 out of 5. Really bad. Fire Plume Harbinger. Reduce the cost of your elementals in hand by 1. It's okay. I think it's good. 4 out of 5. I'm not really sure if it'll see play, but it's a 4 out of 5. Primal Fim Totem. Dog, you're still a 9 out of 10. Thank goodness. At the end of your turn, summon a 1/1 Murloc. Is this a sleeper card that I've been thinking of? I don't know. I mean, it's good, but is it really that good? You just don't have early game. You have nothing to protect it. If Totem Golem and Tunnel Trog were still in the meta, maybe this would be okay. Yeah. Won't see play. 4 out of 5 card. Still good. So bad. It's really not that bad. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a good card. It's just won't see play because you don't have a way to protect it now. Yeah, it's like a better Elemental Destruction because it kind of overloads you for less. Does Elemental Destruction rotate? Oh yeah, it rotates. So it's just a replacement for Elemental Destruction. Yeah, it's good. 4 out of 5. Dog, I think you have to reevaluate the Shaman quest. What, you mean the 400 dust? No. Look, it even made it easy for me. It ranked it what the mana cost is. It's so easy. Alright, let's keep going. Spirit Echo. Yeah, I won't see play. Too slow. Not good enough. Just super slow. Super slow. Stone Sentinel. This card's actually pretty good. It costs 7 mana, which is really hard, but Shaman's the class with the most elementals. I think elementals will only see play in Shaman and Mage. This quest is so good. No, the quest is not good. The quest is terrible. How could you ever think this quest is good? You have to play 10 Murlocs? That's so hard. Oh my god. Anyways, I have to rate this card, right? This card, I think I rated it already. 2 out of 5. This card, 4 out of 5 probably. It's good. It's really good. Dog, summon, not play. I don't care that it's summon and not play. If you're playing if you're playing Call on the Finishers and you're Shaman and you're playing a quest on turn 1, you're gonna get the crap beaten out of you. I don't care, right? you're not playing Megafin and you're not getting good Murlocs. Like, there's so many shitty Murlocs. It doesn't matter if your hand is full of trash, the card is still bad. Jose J, welcome back, 12 months. Says, it's been a year, are we official yet? Nah, still my side piece. Terrible. Let's keep going. Calamos, Primal Lord, this card's good. What are the invocations? Deal 3 damage to all enemy minions. Wow, that's insane. Holy shit. 4.5 out of 5. Super good. Insanely good. You can even, like, heal yourself. 12? Wow. Maybe even a 5 out of 5. I mean, Elemental Shaman seems to be the way to go. Honestly. It's good. Dog, Mega Fin is mega fun. You're about to get mega banned. I wish. Lakari Fellhound. Taunt, Battlecry, discard 2 random cards. Plays in line with this quest where you have to discard 6 cards. So, Smitty, welcome back 4 months. Hey, no dogs allowed. Anyways, how do I evaluate this card? It's good. It's good against aggro. You don't really want to be discarding all your cards, but the thing about Zoo is you empty your hand and then you start top decking these cards and then you don't discard anything and you're like, wow, this card's really good for 4 mana considering I have nothing to discard, right? Although that doesn't work with the quest. I don't really see this replacing Argus and Zoo, and I don't think the quest is good enough to run, so I'm not really sure if this will see play, but it's a good card. I just don't know if it'll see play, so 4 out of 5. There might be some type of arising, like, mid-range Demon Lock deck with the quest, but I'll talk about that more in a bit. Dog, does Firelands rotate? Because if not, it's insanely good. This expansion, yeah, Firelands doesn't rotate. It's really good. Ravenous Pterodax. Destroy a friendly minion, adapt twice. This card's insane. This is like a 4.5 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5. I think Zoo is going to make a very big return. I actually think this doesn't see play, thinking about it. It's a good card. It's an okay card. Okay card. It looks like it has corn for a mouth. Or, yeah, whatever. It's an okay card, but like this is just going to take up the 4th slot, and Argus is still probably better than what you run originally. So, yeah. This card's just insane. This is a 4.5. Or a 5. This is just like... This is ridiculous. So Zoo, like, they clearly want Zoo to come back. That's the kind of deck they want. And I think they're kind of straying away from the Pirate Warrior route. Anyways, Tarlarker has 3 attack during your opponent's turn, so it's a 5 mana 4/7. So it's like a Drew the Claw, but you lose attack on your turn. It's an elemental, but the elemental doesn't matter on Warlock because you're not playing elementals. Lol, Amas said bad card, so you see everyone has another view on it. Yeah, but the difference between me and Amaz's views are my views are right, his are wrong. Kidding. This card's not very good. It's like a 3 out of 5. Corrupting Mist. This card is insane. If Reno Lock was still around, if Reno didn't rotate, this would see play in every single Reno deck. It's so good. I'm not sure if it'll be able to see play in normal lists right now because there's no access to healing for Warlock, which is kind of a big problem. But yeah. So whenever I rate something, it's like I can rate it on whether or not it'll see play or whether it's a good card. So it won't see play, but it's a really good card. That's why it's a 4 or a 4.5. 4.5. Feeding Time. Deal 3 damage to minion summon 3. So it's like a implosion, but you have to pay 1 more mana for it. I I didn't value Implosion well enough whenever I did a card review for it, although I don't know that I did one because it was so long ago. But I remember looking at that card and being like, wow, that card is bad. Who would ever play that card? And I guess I didn't learn my lesson because I'm thinking, wow, this card is bad. Who would ever play this card? So I'm gonna give it like a 3 out of 5. I mean, it's partly so high because I think Implosion, you know, like I learned a little bit. Let's see. Cruel Dinomancer. Summon a random minion you discarded this game. 6 mana, 5/5. It's a death rattle. Can work with the Zoth if you want to build some crazy variant. It's pretty good. As I said, it probably won't see play, but some type of mid-range discard lock could actually develop from this, where you run the quest and you run like, you know, all these shitty discards and you're just like, oh, I can Cruel Dinomancer. All my cards cost like 100, and I'm just playing like discard cards to maintain board until I can't buy Portal anyways. I don't know. Something like that could work, right? It's like a 4 out of 5. It won't see play because I don't think Quest Warlock will ever be good enough, but it's still a good card. You can infinite Cruel Dinomancer. Yeah, that's pretty busted. Wow, I didn't even think about that. That's pretty crazy. That's cool though. Blood Bloom, your next spell this turn costs health instead of mana. So this could also work with the mid-range Demon Lock variants, but there's no healing. Are you really gonna go for like this into Karakazam or something? It's just like not worth it. You can go with turn 2 Doom if you want to pay that much damage. Like counter the patches by dooming it. Yeah, that's real worth it. Lobster Fest 10k. Welcome back 13 months. It would definitely see play in Reno decks, but Reno doesn't exist right now. So in a world without Reno, it doesn't see play, in my opinion. So what do I give this? Oh, actually. Handlock might return, and this might fit in Handlock. I just thought about it. I'm being ambitious here, but this card right here might bring back Handlock. Where is it? This card is insane. This card is like, I think this card's a 5 out of 5. Look at that tongue. So maybe it sees play in that. 3.5 out of 5. I don't know. Doubtful still. Terrible. 1 out of 5. I mean, realistically, it's like a 2 out of 5, but it's terrible. No one will ever play that. Oh, the card sacrifice. Discard 6 cards. Discover another portal. Another portal just summons a ton of imps, which is really cool. 6 cards is kind of hard to discard, I guess. Including Soulfire, you have 5, but 2 of them discard 2. So I guess you have 7 realistically-ish. Oh, I can do this. I didn't even see this option. Oh, that's cool. Oh, shit. Alright. Well, you have 6, right? Deathwing? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're gonna last till turn 10 and play Deathwing and then get your Nether Portal. That's a real smart idea. It's okay. I don't think it'll see play though. It'll be fun and interesting, but it almost definitely won't see play. 3 out of 5. But I'll mess around with it. Everyone will mess around with it. It'll be cool. We'll get some imps. 4 out of 5. 4.5 out of 5. It's not like insane, but it's good. Actually, it's pretty. It's like a 4.5. It's pretty good. It'll see play in almost every deck. Okay, we're to the Warriors now. We're getting there. We're almost there. Handlock with quest and just 1 Deathwing for it. Oh my god, that'd be pretty funny. That's a pretty good idea. Maybe something like that will arise. This is a 1 because this is like the worst card ever. Why would you ever play this? It's so bad. It's just like actually so bad. The reason why people play Shield Block is strictly for the card draw. They don't play it for the armor really. Horny Direhorn. Taunt, Battlecry, Adapt. So what you can get stealth. You can get +1, 6 mana, 6/6 taunt. It's just gotta be bad, right? It helps with the quest. How many taunts do you need to play for the quest actually? Yeah. It's like a 3 out of 5. I doubt it even sees play for the quest. I think the quest will be playing like Tar Lord over that, or maybe like Cornered Sentry or something like that. Anyways, let's continue. Tar Lord, 3.5 out of 5. It's slightly better. It's just an Ancient of War for Warrior, and Warrior kind of wants it. I guess it might be able to get a slot. The fact that it's an elemental is pretty negligible though. Molten Blade. Each turn this transforms. How does this work with the durability, by the way? Does it still stay 1 durability, or does it give you the durability of something else? Oh, in your hand. Oh, it's not equipped. Okay. No. I mean, why would you play this card? It's just bad. Like, you would much rather just play Gorehowl on your own or a War Axe on your own. Just not good. Cornered Sentry, Taunt, Battlecry, summon 3/1/1 Raptors for your opponent. This card's good. Really good. It's really good because of the quest. Before the quest, it wasn't good. Imagine this with Deathbite. Man, that'd be bonkers. But it works really well with Ghoul. Giving them 1/1s is usually irrelevant anyways because you have AoE. Although you do lose Revenge because it's part of a different set. But this card's good. It's like a 4 out of 5 or a 3.5 out of 5. I mean, Dirty Rat still might be better, but this is better for tempo decks. Great for Brawl. Yes, this is very good for Brawl. And MC Tech, yeah. I didn't even think about MC Tech. I thought about Brawl, but I didn't think about MC Tech. Ghoul is out? Oh shit, Ghoul's out. Raptor. It looks like he's doing a little dance. He just got out of the womb. It's really cute. I like it. Dire Horn Hatchling. Oh my god, he's so cute! It reminds me of the Land Before Time or something. I used to watch that movie a lot when I was a kid. Or there was a show also with dinosaurs. I don't really remember it though. Anyways, this card's really good. The fact that it shuffles a bigger minion in your deck that also has Taunt is also really good. The stats on it are a little underwhelming as it is, but it helps fight fatigue also. Not that that's really relevant, I guess, but it's good. Like a shitty White Eyes. But White Eyes would probably be played in Warrior. Give it a 4 out of 5. It's good. It'll see play in Taunt Warrior, and Taunt Warrior will be around. So it's a card that we'll see play. I think the Warrior quest is one of the better ones. There's like 3 good ones. Ducky. Oh yeah, Ducky. I remember Ducky. Explore Angoro. Whenever this card was first released, I was at a tournament and we were discussing how you can just play this against a control matchup once you've gotten enough armor, once you've gotten stability, and then you can just discover whatever you want. So in that aspect, it's okay. You would only ever play this as a 1-of, or I guess you could do 2-of, but the thing is this won't see play just because the quest got released, and the quest is essentially this, right? It's infinite value, and that's kind of what you're looking for whenever you get stability. Memes, yeah, memes. So, not very good. On the meme scale, it's probably like a 5 out of 5, but it won't see play just because the quest is released. If the quest wasn't there, it actually has a lot higher of a chance to see play. Neville's job security, that was actually really funny. Sudden Genesis, summon damaged copies of your minion. If you have a board, you're already ahead. I don't see how this is gonna work out very well. It's like Blood Warriors, right, or whatever. This rotates? No, it doesn't rotate. So you could run both and go like crazy with Arcane Giants. What else is there with it? Sun Genesis. Yeah, Frost Giant, things like that. Is there anything with charge you can do with this? I mean, technically, it's a faceless manipulator, right? You can, like, Leroy Sudden Genesis. Leroy Enrage Sudden Genesis. I mean, this is so stupid, right? There's nothing cool you can do with it, I think. Probably just a 3 out of 5. Won't see play. Battle Rage is better. I mean, the thing is, if you're playing this card and you're planning on using it with Giants anyways, why wouldn't you just play Blood Warriors, which Life Coach evaluated as a laughable card? He literally just sat there and laughed at the card, and then he never got another card reveal again. That shows how bad this card is in comparison. If that card is better, 2.5, something like that. Fireplume's Heart. This is one of the better quests. 4.5 out of 5 in my opinion. Just really good. It will almost definitely see play. Like, this is probably the only thing I'm sure of, actually, because I'm not sure if the Mage quest is actually good. I think it's really good, but probably isn't even that good. This is the only quest that is likely to see play. And the thing is, you can actually mulligan this quest if you know you're against Pirate Warrior. So let's say you're looking for that War Axe or those taunts early. You don't care if you get Sulfuras because the game's going to end after you get the taunts up. You don't need this card, right? So you just mulligan it. This card's like 4.5 to 5. This card's just like really, really, really good. And it's the one quest that I'm sure we'll see play. Yeah, insane. What is this? King Mosh. Destroy all damaged minions. I mean, you can Whirlwind with it. That's pretty sick. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm just saying numbers at this point. I mean, I look at this guy and I'm like, yeah, I mean, you can Whirlwind and play him. And that's cool, but like, good luck getting to turn 10. I guess maybe I don't know. Maybe you can replace a Brawl with this, and you only run one Brawl, but that removes your consistency. Maybe you only run one Execute. I don't see it. 3.5. It's so doubtful it sees play. Like, so doubtful. The thing is, legendaries almost always get higher value than these things. Like, what the hell is this saying? I'm skipping this card because it's so irrelevant that it's never going to see play. Maybe in that Hunter deck it'll see play. I'm not going to rate it. Bayengi, welcome back. 4 months. Says, hey dog, how you doing? Pretty good. Just chilling. Firefly. Battlecry, add a 1/2 elemental to your hands. It might see play. Okay, so this is the best card for the Hunter quest because it gives you a card that you can play immediately to help the Hunter quest. So this card is very good, and it will definitely see play in the Hunter quest, assuming the Hunter quest is good. 3.5 out of 5. 4 out of 5. We'll go 4 out of 5. That's good enough. It's good. Good card. That thing, I mean, it looks cute, but it's probably just gas, right? I don't know. Glacial Shard, Battlecry, freeze an enemy. So freezing is definitely an undervalued mechanic in Hearthstone, and this card is very good. The only deck I could see playing it though is the Hunter. Maybe Zoo plays it actually. Zoo might be able to play it. Probably not. It's a good card though. Won't see play, good card. It'll see play in the Hunter. So we'll give it a 4 out of 5, but it's a good card. Mage is no longer the only class with freeze. Frost Elemental was around, but it didn't really see play. But that was because Frost Elemental was so expensive, right? Where's Frost Elemental? But it almost saw play. It was so close to be seeing play. Ravasaur Runt. If you control 2 other minions, adapts. Might see play in Zoo. That's all I can say about it. Every other deck seems very unlikely to run this card. The good thing is, if you're a warrior, if you're Pirate Warrior, what you can do is you can play turn 1 Disastrous Mate, and then you can play turn 2 this, and make it like a Wind Fury or something. Just go ham. Probably not good enough. Pretty bad. I mean, not good enough for that deck, but good in Zoo. So we'll give it like a 3.5, 4. We'll give it 3.5 to 4, somewhere in there, because it competes for a slot in Zoo. Rockpool Hunter, give a friendly Murloc +1/+1. Murlocs probably won't see play at all, but this is a very good card because the stats on it. I mean, if you look at it, yeah, it's a 2/3, but it's like a 3/4 for 2 mana. It's pretty good. Good card though, 4 out of 5. Murlocs probably won't be a thing, but if they are, this will definitely see play. Card's garbage. Maybe you can do a quick warrior, like... Maybe you can get by with warrior really quickly, the quest, but that seems unfeasible as well. It's just bad. 3 out of 5. Like, 2 out of 5. I don't know. It won't see play. Why am I rating it? That's my opinion. Like this card's really bad. It's like a 2 out of 5. These are literally just pack fillers. What is this guy doing? He's stealing some eggs. 2 out of 5. Really bad. This card is very hard for me to evaluate because I don't know what deck runs it. But it's a much better Patient Assassin. Dog Tice said the Murloc was the best card in the set. Yeah, I mean, it's, as I said, it's good. It's a very good card. I don't know how to evaluate this card. Dog's an alcoholic. I didn't drink. I hate card reviews, but I'm doing it for you guys, for the peeps. I have a hard time seeing what deck plays this. It's a good card, but it won't see play. Much like every other card. 3.5 to 4 is what I would say for this. This is a bad card, in my opinion. Oh, something to note about the Firefly is it actually might see play in Zoo. I didn't really cover that. This card's just good. It is a 4 out of 5 or maybe even higher, but it's just a good card. It's like an Echoing Ooze that you can play yourself, but obviously the interactions work differently, but it's still a good card. I think this card is also very bad. You could run it with the Rogue Quest, but I think the Rogue Quest is too bad to run. We'll just give it like a 3 out of 5, just because it's okay, but it's like they add these cards for Arena and you don't really care about them in Constructed. If you control another Murloc, discover a Murloc. It's way too pricey and you don't really need the value of it, in my opinion. And the stat line is bad. 3 out of 5, won't see play. Battlecry, adapt. So you can get a 2/5. This is pack filler, Arena, 3 out of 5. Or 2 out of 5, I guess. 2 out of 5. It'll never see play in Constructed. Has 2 attack, so it's a 3 mana, 3/5. I could see myself running this in like a very anti-aggressive lists. It's good. It's an elemental. I think there are better options, which is why I'm hesitant to say it's like a good card, but it's probably just a 3.5. All ratings are between 3 and 5. I just gave this one a 2. Look at this thing. This is like the ugliest card that's ever been made. Thunder Lizard, if you played an elemental last turn, adapt, so it could be a 3 mana 3/6 at best. 3 mana 3/3 stealth, 3 mana 3/3 divine. It won't see play. Why would you play this? Most of the elemental cards aren't good enough to run with this anyways. Like, it's just bad. 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5. It's like, I don't know, these cards, man. 4 mana 2/6. 2 out of 5. This card's insane. This is like a 4 out of 5 or 3.5 out of 5 because the effect's not that good. But the stats on it are amazing. Yeah, and it's a beast, so it could actually see play in Hunter or something. This card's really good. Really good. The stats are just... This is the most value stats you can get. Insane. I mean, it's insane for a neutral that's not like a hyped up card. That's what I'm talking about. Sabertooth Stalker. So, you can play this in Shaman, and then you play it on turn 6, and then you play Wind Fury on it the next turn. And then you hit him for 16. That's pretty good. And if you really want to mix things up, you could play like a Flame Tongue, hit him for 20. That's some value. But it's just a pack filler and won't see play. I don't know, 3 out of 5. Won't see play, pack filler, 3 out of 5. There's really no point in talking about this card. Like, you could do it for the Shaman quest, but if a Shaman's playing this on turn 7, then go for it. I don't really care. 3 out of 5, won't see play. This card is only relevant because you can play it in very heavy Ramp Druid with the Giant Anaconda. And it is a beast, so you can copy it with Menagerie Warden. And that's the only thing that I see being reasonable. So perhaps it will see play, and it's okay. It reminds me of that guy from the Ice Age. What is his name? Probably like a 3 out of 5. The only way you could play is with gimmicks. I don't know what the hell that thing is. The Golaka Crawler. Destroy a pirate and gain 1/1. Not a bad card. If you want to tech against Pirate Warrior in the meta, play this. It's very good. It eats up stuff, and that's important. It's a tech card. For a tech card, it's like a 4 out of 5. Devil Sore Egg. I mean, you can try to compare it with Nerubian Egg, but it being 1 more mana is much more pricey. And, like, how do you activate it without Power Overwhelming, which is the only deck that really, saw... Where Nerubian Egg saw play was Zoo, and you don't have PO anymore. So how are you going to activate this? Too slow, bad, 3 out of 5. I mean, it's bad when I compare it to an Nerubian Egg, and that's why I say it's bad. It's an okay card, but it's like 3 out of 5. Turn 4, Pterodactyl. Dog. What are you doing? Realistic, I'm trying to think of the consistency of that. That 4-drop is really good with it. I will admit that. And that's something I overlooked, especially when giving it the ranking. I guess you normally run Argus as well, right? So that's pretty good. But you don't have PO. Like, PO is such a big deal. I mean, Argusing this doesn't really do that much. It's just worse Argus, right? Okay. I'm convinced that this is a 4 now. Or 3.5. You convinced me to raise it from a 3 to a 3.5. I still don't think it'll see play. I think it is insane with that new card, which I know will see play. The 4-cost card, adapt twice. It's Ravenous Pterodactyl or something. I don't know what it's called. It is insane with that card, and I'm just curious the consistency of it. But if they play this on turn 3, I'm usually pretty happy if they don't have follow-up. So that's all I'm going to say about it. I don't think you're going to be playing Void Terror. If you didn't play Void Terror whenever Power Overwhelming was a card, and they nerfed Silence and they nerfed BGH, then why are you playing Power Overwhelming now, right? It just doesn't make sense to me. I think this card is a 5 out of 5. It's very niche, but it's insanely good. Insanely good. Like, holy shit. That can see play with Void Terror. Stonehill Defender, Taunt, Discover a Taunt Minion. It's a 1/5. Like, you can't spend 3 mana on a 1/5. And there aren't that many good Taunt Discovers. I guess for whenever you're playing Warrior, you're more likely to discover your own class, right? So for Warrior, you are more likely to discover Sparring Partner, Public Defender. Sparring Partner actually rotates, which is good because that card's bad. Fierce Monkey rotates, so you're more likely to discover Bloodhoof Brave and Alley Armorsmith. Maybe it'll see play in Quick Quest Pirate Warrior, or Quick Quest Warrior, but it's doubtful. I think a 3.5 out of 5. 3 out of 5. It's okay. Maybe you played in Zoo and Hope, but you have to go face with it. If you played an Elemental last turn, gain Taunt and Divine Shield. The only Elemental decks I can see are Mage and Shaman. Does Shaman run this? Maybe. Does Mage run this? Maybe. 4 out of 5. I think only Shaman will be Elemental. It probably runs it in Shaman. Card is crazy good if it gets Wind Fury and Stealth. I'm not running a card like this in my deck, hoping that it hits their face and hoping that I get Wind Fury and Stealth. Like, that's just... Yeah, good luck with that. And, like, you have to re-stealth it every time? I don't know. I'm not getting into that. Servant of Kalimos. If you played an Elemental last turn, discover an Elemental. So, once again, you're more likely to discover things of your own class. How do you spell Elemental? My brain is going crazy right now. Okay. So you're more likely to discover that rotates. That's garbage. That's garbage. Yeah, you don't play it. It's just a bad card. There's too many bad elementals. I don't know. 3 out of 5. 2 out of 5. Just won't see play. Frozen Crusher. After this minion attacks, freeze it. Why would you want a minion that can only do something once every turn? Like, that's just... It doesn't make sense to me. This is terrible. This is a 2 out of 5. Volcanosaur. Battlecry, adapt, and adapt. Wait, don't I get that now? Wait, I thought I think I get it in like an hour. Yeah, I mean, you can get taunt and health, and then it becomes good, but it's never going to be good enough. Maybe if Bran was around, it's just like a 3 out of 5. People say this will see play in like control decks and things like that. I don't see it. It's a lot worse than Zombie Chow. And Zombie Chow was good because you don't care about healing your opponent, but with this, like, you don't you don't care, right? So, I mean, everyone's spamming 3 out of 5, but I'm probably gonna have to say 3 out of 5 on this. And you're saying 3 out of 5 because I give everything a 3 out of 5, but realistically, this is a 3 out of 5. Like, I'm not gonna change my thing. Gluttonous Ooze. I think this card's good. Zalay was arguing with me that because it's a tech card, you don't want to spend more mana on it. You'd prefer just to get it out. But I think the armor gain is actually pretty relevant because it's like a heal, so it's like an Earthen Ring Farseer. Built in, right? I will admit it's much worse if you don't get the weapon destroyed, but it's still really good. So, I think it's a 4 out of 5, and I think people will use this as a tech, which is good. Bright-Eyed Scout. This is a card that could be very, 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 very strong. It's like a Gnomish Engineer, but it could be better than a Gnomish Engineer, right? Or is that what it's called? Gnomish Engineer? Actually, I don't know. Yeah, Gnomish Inventor. I think it's good. I think it'll see a little while before it sees play. I would rate Novice Engineer a 3.5 out of 5. So I'll probably give this a 3.5 out of 5. I think it's similar. That plus hem it. Oh yeah, that's true. You could hem it, and then you could play this, and then boom. Sick. Scout can high roll so hard. Yeah, you can. It's good. It's a good card. Yeah. It's just a card that no one really talks about, but I think it could definitely. I mean, I don't think it really sees playing competitive, but I think it could like be fun, right? It's good memery. That's what Hearthstone's all about. All right. We're almost done. We're getting there. Gentle Megasaur. Battlecry adapt your Murlocs. There have been some really good Murlocs released, and this definitely is a good card. The problem is I don't really see Murlocs being played. The only way you could see play is like Paladin, and this is really good with them, but I don't see how it works, I guess is what I'm saying. The only deck that could see play is Paladin, right?
Hi dog, it's your boy Butt Party.
How's it going?
How's it going, Butt Party? Pretty good, thank you for asking. This card is the worst piece of garbage I've ever seen. I give it a 3 out of 5.
Am I predictable? Maybe I'm predictable. Curator? Yeah, it's very good with Curator. Yeah. 4 out of 5 won't see play unless it's in Paladin. That's my call on it. Bittertide Hydra. It's a beast, so it does work with Curator, which is pretty important actually. The beast is the hardest part to get with Curator. I'll rate this card a 4 out of 5 as well. It's good. It's like a Fel Reaver. It's very hard to do multiple instances of damage to it unless you have a lot of minions on board, but you play this when you don't have a lot of minions, whenever your opponent doesn't have a lot of minions on board. It's going to be a card that probably sees play because it is so aggressive and it is so good. And in the same vein as Fel Reaver, it's a risk for a very high reward. Beast Druid. I mean, that's like suicide if you Menagerie Ward it. Holy shit. Just Tekken Bouncing Blades. The Bouncing Blades that don't exist. Blaze Caller. Battlecry, if you played an Elemental last turn, deal 5 damage. Okay, so this card is really good. It's just a better Firelands Portal. It's probably one of the better cards of the set. It's overpowered just like Dragonid Operative is overpowered, correct? The problem is you have to play an Elemental last turn. There aren't that many decks that can do that. The only ones that come to mind, Mage, Shaman. It will see play in Shaman. It will see play in Mage if Mage goes the Elemental route. I don't think it will. 5 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5, something like that. Very, very good. One of the best cards of the set. It's on the high end of 3 out of 5. Stop. Stop. I'm already dead. Alright, charge Devil Sword. Charge Battlecry can't attack heroes this turn. Let's see. I don't see a deck that will play this, but it's not a bad card. But no deck will play it, and that's the important part. Unless you're playing like Druid or something, but it's just no. 3.5 out of 5, but it won't see play. This card is insane. I'm actually curious if Dragon Priest will be able to stick around. Most likely not, obviously, because it loses literally everything. But it keeps the most important card, Dragonid Operative. And you can still run like Fairy Dragons. Nether Spites are still busted as all hell because you actually don't discover Garbage Dragons anymore, so you're more likely to get Dragonid Operative, which is really, really strong. 4.5 out of 5 or 5 out of 5, but it probably won't see play because dragons are pretty dead. The only class I could ever see playing it is Priest, but Dragon Priest is pretty bad. I was considering making like a control Dragon Priest deck, but you lose Corruptor, you lose Drake, you lose literally everything. You lose your best 4-drop, you lose your best 2-drop, you lose your best 1-drop. Like, what are you doing? But it's a good card. 4.5. 4.5 won't see play. I mean, I'm telling you the rankings, right? I'm telling you the power level of the card with the number, and I'm telling you whether or not it'll see play. Battlecry, discover a spell and cast it with random targets. So this is really good if you can discover AoE, like Shadow Flame or Nether, and you're looking strictly for AoE because everything else is like really dumb. It's just not a good card, and it costs so much mana. It's like a 2 out of 5. It'll never see play. Spirit Singer Umbra. After you summon a minion, trigger its death rattle effects.
Hey dog, are you going to put this review in YouTube?
Maybe.
So we can play drink a shot if dog says 3.5?
No, I don't want to kill people. I'm not responsible for your deaths. I don't know. It's a cool card. The stat line on it's not bad for how effective it is. We'll go with 3.5 out of 5. You heard him. Take a shot, everyone. The Vorax, after you cast a spell on a minion, summon a 1/1 plant and cast another copy on it. This card's bad. 2 out of 5. This card's insane. This is like a 5 out of 5 for control decks. It won't be auto-include in everything, obviously, but it's very good. I think this will work with like a very tempo-oriented mage deck with Time Warp and things like that. Plus, it's just good. Like, you could run this in the Control Warrior deck and not be unhappy about it. This is like a 5 out of 5 or a 4.5 out of 5. Very, very strong. I want the last 3 to 5 hours of my life back. Holy shit, that was good. Oh, man. Hemet Jungle Hunter. I haven't really thought of the synergies with this card, but it seems really good. The stat line on it is insane. And you can use it with, like, Druid after you draw your ramp and you don't want to draw all your shitty cards anymore. You just play this and you're good. As I said, I haven't thought of the synergies very much with it. Maybe you can figure out a way to build a mage deck with OTK and make it more consistent so you don't have to draw all your shit. But it's good. 4 out of 5. 4.5 out of 5 almost. It's a really good card. And we're almost done. Dog Shirt Off, welcome back, 8 months. Amazing name, of course. Let's see. Ozruk, or Uzruk. Ozruk. Taunt, Battlecry, gain 5 health for each elemental you played last turn. So it would probably be a 9 mana 5/10 or 5/15. This card's really bad. Once again, the only deck this will ever see played is Shaman, but you're not gonna even play it. It's just bad. You see all of these cards. I went through this earlier. All these cards that you've never seen. Chromagus, you know, Gruul. We didn't see Medivh for the longest time. The Boogie Monster. This is like a Boogie Monster, you know? It's just shitty. Look, I have a golden Boogie Monster. You're gonna be sad if you open this in a pack. 2 out of 5. We finished. What a good little...
That feel when your opponent plays a 5 mana 88 and you have Volcano in your hand. Krigasm.
Oh god. Yeah, if that happens. I guess I'll go over some theory crafting for a little bit, and we'll go from there. Let's go over which classes I think will be the strongest, and then you guys can comment on that if you want. And talk in chat and I'll agree or disagree with you, all that good stuff. So tier 1, obviously Pirate Warrior. I think both variants will be tier 1. Although Tempo is less likely, but I think it will still be good. So I think Tempo Rogue and Discover will be tier 2. Let me go through them. Priest is probably tier 3. Hunter will be somewhere between tier 1 and tier 2 in my opinion. Mid-range Hunter will probably also be tier 2, but it'll be closer. It'll be... Quest Hunter will probably be better than Mid-range Hunter, in my opinion. The problem is, Quest Hunter loses to Zoo Warlock, and it loses to Quest Warrior, and it loses to Pirate Warrior. So what does it beat, right? Like that's like a really big issue. Because Pirate Warrior is so strong, and that's what's going to dictate the other power levels of classes, right? I don't know where Rogue falls. I think Tempo and Discover Rogue will be tier 2. Probably Quest Rogue will be tier 3, but it might be tier 2. It definitely has a chance. Control Shaman will probably be tier 2. I'm going to make a bold statement and say Handlock is tier 2. Handlock. That's a very bold statement, but I have faith in the Razor thingy. Plus, it's like not that bad of a deck now, and what really ate it was Miracle Rogue. I think Miracle Rogue will be tier 3 because it sucks. Mid-range Paladin is probably tier 2. Actually, mid-range Paladin loses to Pirate Warrior. I also think aggro Paladin. Like Murloc / aggro Paladin will be tier 2. Put everything in tier 2. Yeah, that's the safe way to do it, right? The only thing that can change here is Quest Hunter going up here, or Quest Mage going up here, right? I mean, do you really want me to rate Quest Shaman? There's a secret tier. I don't know. That makes sense, right? The list that I'm probably gonna play is like this the first day. Obviously I'm gonna test with all the different types of decks. I think the best of the Time Warp quest will probably be tempo oriented. You just run like Elise and you run Mukla and you just try to get the quest out. You can run Arcane Giants and you run a little bit of card draw, and you still run early game, you still run Mana Worm and all that stuff. The problem is Zoo's probably going to stomp you. So this is probably what I'm going to run the first day, just OTK. Aggro Shaman, there's no Aggro Shaman anymore. I don't think Aggro Shaman will exist. You lose with Paladin so hard and you still think it's tier 2. The reason why I think Paladin is a little better is because it can tech against Pirate Warrior better with the additional cards. Finley was a huge problem for Paladin as well, and Pirate Warrior is losing that. You can't negate that. Also, Paladin's pretty good against Zoo. I mean, it's okay against Zoo because they have Pyro qualities, and that new card that they got. I'm talking mid-range Paladin. What is it? This thing is insane against everything. So, discard Warlock. I mean, that's just Zoo, right? Quest Warlock is tier 3. This is my my tier list. Tempo Quest Elemental Mage, probably tier 3. I can't see it being that good. Water Rogue. I mean, Aggro Rogue can still be a thing, I guess. It's probably tier 2. Aggro Shaman's definitely dead. These are just my ratings. Obviously, I'm probably going to be wrong, but... Wait, I only get 1? What? Why would they only give me 1? What?